Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're watching it, where you are, and all that crap. It's time for episode 75. 75? Yeah, 75 of Walkin and Talkin with me, Celine Driver. Obviously, I'm not walking. That's because notes and need the notes to do the video, and that's hard to do when you're walking around and so on. And if you're going to troll me on that, good luck. Anyway, time for my annual what are the Florida Gators going to do in 2023 in terms of record? I know nobody cares. I mean, most of the people who are subscribers to this channel are not Florida Gator fans, and some of you people think I don't care about college football, and I've never watched a college football game in my life, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and so on and so forth. I mean, I see it in the live streams, I see it in the comments, I hear it all the time. But everyone else is doing predictions on their team. Hell, some of you people are doing it on predictions on all the conferences. I don't care about 4 of the 5 conferences. They don't matter to me. I care about the SEC, and I don't care about any of the other teams in the SEC except for the Florida Gators. So call me myopic or whatever. I only care about the one team, and that's what I'm going to talk about. How are the Florida Gators going to do in 2023? Well, the short version is not good. I mean, let's face it, folks. It's no secret the Florida Gators have fallen from grace. 3 not good coaching regimes in a row following Urban Meyer. First with Moose Dump, who couldn't develop an offense if his life depended on it. Then Shark Humper, who couldn't develop a defense if his life depended on it. And then Mullen, who couldn't recruit if his life depended on it. You cannot have 12 years of mediocre coaching, and I'm being kind with respect to at least one of them, but mediocre coaching for 12 or 13 years and not have the results you see on the field. Florida is not recruiting well, at least up until recently. They're not playing well. They haven't played defense in God knows how long, although we did see some spark of life last year with respect to the defense. But when you assemble a quarterback room, with the exception of a couple of people who have no right to, in some cases, no right to touch a football again in their lives, and in some cases play the position of quarterback like a monkey humping said football, you're going to have losing records. You're going to lose to teams you shouldn't lose to. And you're going to lose the recruiting battle to your 2 other major, and one would argue one of the 2 minor football programs in the home state, which arguably has either the best or the second best recruiting environment in the country. So the damage to Florida's program is obvious, it's palpable, it's undeniable, and it's being turned around by the current regime. And all of you people can bleat till the cows come home about the man doesn't know what he's doing and he has no right to be where he's at and so on. I ignore that because that's just trash talk. There are signs of improvement in Gainesville, but not for 2023. I did read a funny article that came across my Facebook feed that actually put Billy Napier as one of 4 coaches they listed on the hot seat. And one other article said he's probably gone at the end of 2023. Into his second year? I mean, even Florida State gave who's that goof that they hired just before Norville? I can't think of his name right now. I mean, he was hopeless, but they at least gave him 3 years. They've given Norville enough time that he's built Florida State back into a respectable program again. Napier is going to, I believe, get that same consideration. He's going to at least last 3 years. I mean, you don't fire a guy he hasn't even played game one of his second season in Gainesville. He's still not running the program with all of his players. He's still running the program with leftovers from Mullen. He's not on the hot seat. That's just silliness. And to say otherwise, you don't know football. But enough of that. Let's look at the schedule I have here. First game is August 31st. That's a Thursday at 8 p.m. on the road in Salt Lake City, Utah against the Utah Utes. Last year, Florida managed to pull out a win, probably the best win of Napier's young Florida career. Pardon me. It was a good win. It was a gutsy win. And if Anthony Richardson had actually played the entire season the way he played in that game, we might not be talking about a Florida Gator football team that was in such dire straits at the end of 2022. But he didn't. And good luck in the no fun league, kid. You're gonna get your brains beat in because you got no talent. But that's another subject. Well, Florida's not going to be so lucky this time. They're going out to Salt Lake City. There's a time change. There's a distance issue. There's an altitude issue. And there's the issue of talent, quite frankly. Florida's going to lose that game. It'll be the first time in forever Florida lost an opening game. I think they might hold the record right now for longest continuing opening day winning streak. I'm not sure about that, but they don't lose on opening day very often. I can't remember the last time they did, but they're going to lose on August 31st. It's an 8 p.m. game on the four-letter liberal network. I'm debating whether or not I'll live stream the game or not. So, September 9th, they come home. Their home opener against something called McNeese. Gonna lose that game to the Gators. That's going to be a romp. That'll be scheduled to be 7:30 p.m. on ESPNU. So that's a win. The next game is September 16th. It's their SEC opener at home against Tennessee. Now, everyone and their uncle and their aunt are picking Florida to lose. I think everyone's favorite trash talker, we all know who he is praying for an absolute Tennessee blowout. I think he said he wanted it to be a 30-point blowout in Gainesville. Now, Tennessee may be more talented. I think they are marginally more talented, although they are replacing their quarterback. Gainesville's not the easiest place for a home team to come into and win. It is a rivalry game. Florida does not like Tennessee. Tennessee does not like Florida. I've actually picked two of the games on our schedule to be what I call toss-up, meaning I'm not for sure either way right now. Tennessee is one of the two games I listed as a toss-up, but then I put it in the win column. I think Florida can somehow rear up and get it done. It's a home game. It's an evening game. The Florida faithful are going to have the entire day to get really, really riled up and amped up. And Tennessee's going to walk into the swamp. And I think they catch an L. I think they might catch an L that they weren't expecting. Every team has a game that they are going to lose that they were supposed to win. Everyone is picking Tennessee to beat Florida at home. I'm going to buck the trend. I think Florida might eke it out. It may be a 1-point win. It may be a Hail Mary at the end of the game. I think they can do it. They're just as likely to lose, yeah. But I'm gonna stick my neck out. I'm gonna say a toss-up win for my Gators. Next game is the 23rd of September against Charlotte. That's an easy win. Then they go on the road, September 30th. They go on the road to Kentucky. This is the other toss-up game that I put in the schedule. I think Florida has enough talent that they could hang with Kentucky. It is a road game, and Lexington is not the easiest place to win. And lately, since they broke the 31-game losing streak to Florida, Kentucky has sort of had our number. I'm going to put this game down, unfortunately and heartbreakingly, as a loss for Florida. But could they walk into Lexington and eke out a win? Sure, it's possible. But I think they're going to catch an L on this one. So, sadly, there. Next game is October 7th. Vanderbilt comes to town. We lost to Vanderbilt last year, embarrassingly. It's in Gainesville. I think there's a bit of revenge on players' minds. I think Vanderbilt comes in and it's a buzzsaw for Vandy. I think Florida wins that game easily. Next game is a road game on the 14th of October against South Carolina. I don't believe in South Carolina. I don't believe in them. I think we walk into Columbia and win the game. And that might make Uncle Lou happy, because I know as much as he hates Florida, he hates South Carolina that much more. So I think Florida wins in South Carolina. We get a week off, our traditional bye week before the world's largest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville against dem dogs. That'll be over by halftime. Florida is going to catch a major L by the defending champs. It's not even going to be. That could be the blowout win that our favorite YouTuber, Trash Talker, is looking for. Georgia's going to run over Florida like they aren't even there. It's not. It's unless they have major injuries coming in to the cocktail party, or Florida is just so much better than everyone is thinking they are. That's an easy win for Georgia. Next game is November 4th against Arkansas in Gainesville. That's a win for Florida. Next game after that is the 11th at Baton Rouge against the Fighting Kellys. Loss. LSU just has way too much talent. It's probably going to be a night game. It's probably going to be on TV. It's in Death Valley. The Cajuns are going to be raging, and Florida doesn't have a chance. Next game is an away game in Columbia, Mizzou, against the Missouri Kitty Cats. I don't believe in Missouri. I never have. We're going to go into their high school stadium, and we're going to come out with a win. And then the final game is November 25th at home against Florida State. And as much as I hate to say it, because I hate Florida State more than any other team in the country, and I know it's a home game against an in-state rival and all that, Florida State just has too much talent right now, and Florida just... I think Florida might make it a close game because it'll be senior day. It'll be a home game. It's a rivalry game against our biggest rival. Say what you will about Georgia and Tennessee and all that. Florida State is the biggest rival as far as I'm concerned, far as most of Gator Nation is concerned. That's our biggest rival. Even given senior day, even given home game, even given rivalry game, Florida State just has a bit too much talent for Florida right now, and it's a loss. I wish it weren't, but if anything, if I am anything else to this community, I am an honest fan, and I gotta go with what the numbers tell me. So what does that give us? That gives me, if we can beat Tennessee, that gives me 7-5. I think 7-5 is the ceiling for the Gators in 2023. They qualify for a bowl game. If we lose to Tennessee, I still think we end the season 6-6. Now we're still bowl eligible at 6-6. A lot of people have been predicting 5-7. I'm going to be a little more optimistic because, hey, why not? But I think 6-6 is realistic. 7-5 is somewhat realistic if we beat Tennessee. That's the only. There are two games that I consider toss-ups: Tennessee game, Kentucky game. Now, we could lose to Tennessee and beat Kentucky. I mean, that's possible. Or we could lose to both, or we could beat both. I don't think we beat both, but you never know. I mean, that's why you play the game. I mean, on paper, Florida against Georgia, Florida against LSU, Florida against Florida State are three easy, almost ironclad, lead pipe cinch losses. But you play the game. Remember Georgia, South Carolina, 2019. Remember, what was it? Auburn, Alabama, just recently, where Auburn kind of eked out a win that everyone said they shouldn't have. Pick a rivalry game, or pick just a game where it looked like the one team was overmatched and somehow pulled one out. It's possible, but I think 7-5 is my best scenario. 6-6 is my realistic fallback scenario. So there you have it. That's what I think of the 2023 Florida Gators. It's not going to be a fun game to watch, a fun season to watch, but I will be here because I have been a Gator fan for longer than most of you people have been alive. I do bleed orange and blue. I will ride and die with this team. I have seen this program at its very, very best, and I have seen this team at its very, very worst. We have one of the toughest seasons, toughest schedules in the country. That's been acknowledged by all kinds of different pundits. So we'll see. Season starts in about a week. We'll see what happens. So this is your boy, Celine Driver. That's me. For Walkin and Talkin, or not Walkin and Talkin, 2023 Gator football season projection. Thanks for watching.